Hey guys, welcome back to Max Motorsports and Small Engines. I know it's getting late in the year and the snow's melting like crazy. It's about 50 degrees here today, but I figured I'd pop this video out on the 3 mechanical tips you should know before you go riding anywhere. Now I know there's a lot of problems that can happen on the trails and a lot of different things you can know, but I picked 3 main things I'm going to show you that I think you should know before you go out riding. But as always, you should always have a partner with you to help you when you break down. Anyway, sorry for squinting, it's super bright out here today. Light coming off the snow, super bright. But we're going to get into the video and I'm going to show you 3 things that could come in handy out on the trails or wherever you're riding. Alright, for 2 out of 3 of these things, you're going to need tools, so make sure you have a little set of tools that are with you on your sled at all times. The first thing I'm going to show you, I actually have a video on how to start a snowmobile without a key. So if you're riding on the trails, or you're riding in deep snow and you accidentally take your key out, and you drop it, maybe you go into a restaurant for lunch and you drop it someplace and completely lose it. I'm going to show you actually how to start a snowmobile without a key. Make sure you're not using this to steal somebody else's snowmobile. And this is the first and easiest thing to do. Alright, so let's take out my key, pretend it's gone. You come out, it's gone. Or you drop it someplace. Now you're thinking you can't ride. Well, you actually can. This could also help you if your key gets frozen too. Sometimes they're frozen and they're not easy to turn. In fact, I keep this ready to start without a key at all times. Alright, so we're just going to start here. We're going to surf all the way around underneath the rest of the hood that's here, and we're going to go right underneath. So here we are. We have our back of our ignition here. So we're just going to grab that harness of wires and work them off, unplug them, and we're set to go. One thing I do have to warn you of is you're not going to be able to use your electric start, but I think for a lot of you guys, you're just going to have pull start anyway, so I think it's going to work great. And after that, we just have to make sure our kill switch is up, and then pull start it. Works well. Alright, this next tip I'm going to show you how to do is change and clean your spark plugs. So this is going to happen when you're out on the trails and you're letting your sled idle too long, or you're not driving fast enough, or for other reason. And basically an oil builds up in the spark plugs, the 2-stroke oil, and it doesn't allow the spark to get to the gasoline, which it's either going to be super hard to start, or it's not going to start at all. Everybody that rides has to know how to take out and change their spark plugs. You should always have a brand new spark plug on hand, so that when it goes bad out on the trail, you're going to have one to stick in. And this is where the tool's going to come in handy. So we're going to pop out our tool, and take off our spark plug caps. Then we're going to take out our spark plugs. And, you know, this is very simple mechanic work. Everybody's got to know how to do it if they're going to ride. Okay, so we're just going to loosen those up. And ideally, these should be torqued back on, but you're not going to have a torque wrench on the trails, most likely. So just tighten it back up with the wrench you have. Alright, now when we take these out, you're probably going to be noticing a film of oil on the bottom of them. Not necessarily these ones, but yours may have that on the bottom. Alright, so here we took it out. You can see there's a little bit of oil in there. If I can rub it on my hands, and there's going to be a lot more on the end when this goes bad, probably. I don't really have to take these out and change these ones, because these ones are fine. But if you're out on the trail, and you're noticing that they're pretty gummed up, take your new one, stick it in and put it back in. Take your new one, and screw it back in to replace the old one. Now you should just replace both while you're at it. They're probably both just about gone if one is. To prevent this, try not to leave your sled idling for very long, and if you do, pick up your speed a little bit after that. So take it for a ride, go 40-50 miles an hour, and it'll help burn the oil off. Alright, and for ones that are really oily and not worn out, you can actually sometimes take a paper towel and clean them up, or anything you have, even your shirt, you can clean them up and put them back in, and they'll work a lot better. But really, if they go, you really should just put a new one in. But if you don't have one with you on the trail, or you have the wrong one, then go ahead and stick your old one back in and try to clean it up a little bit. Now don't over tighten these, because you don't want to crush your gasket. Let's just go. Some boxes will actually say on them, like hand tighten them and then go another half turn, but I'm not sure what these ones exactly are right now. Alright, and for my third tip, last but not least, you guys need to know how to change a belt. Especially for you guys that like to ride a little bit faster. You know, you can blow a belt on the trails really easily, or wherever you're riding. So I did put a video on this the other day, but I'm going to show you anyways, quick way to change a belt. Alright, so here we go at our clutch, and our secondary clutch, and then up here we have our spare belt. So make sure you always have a spare belt on your sled. It doesn't even have to be brand new, but you need to have a spare belt to get you home when your belt blows. So there's a couple different techniques for this, and they're all going to be different for different sleds. So for your people that are riding older sleds, I recommend you go watch my other video if you want some more details. But all you're going to do is you're going to grab your belt from up here, and you're going to simply pull over and twist it off just like a bicycle chain. You're putting it on, but you're actually taking it off, and you're going to do the same thing for putting it on. But for this model, you should have a key on your hand to slide right into that hole there. It looks like a bolt or nut fell out, but it didn't, and you're just going to do this, turn this in until it firms up a little bit. Then you're going to go 2 or 3 turns until it loosens up enough where you can get the belt off. Now when I take this belt off, it's going to be basically like the older sleds, okay? I'm going to take it off just like the older sleds, except that helps loosen this up. You might have seen it. Now it's very loose up in there, and it's going to be easier to take off. And that's the huge advantage of having a newer sled. Alright, so we're going to grab it up in here and pull it off. Okay, now you may be able to do that, or you can spin it off. Spinning it off is really going to help. But you got to be able to have your sled free enough where you can move it backwards unless you have it up on a lift. You're not going to have that out on the trails. So we're just going to pull this one off. There we go. And I'm going to push it up front. And then we're going to bring it around the primary clutch up here. We're going to take it off, okay? And then quick tip here, before you put your new belt on, especially if it's new, you got to make sure when you put this belt on that you're going to be able to read it when it's on the sled, okay? So it says Polaris right here. So I want it to be just like this on the sled, okay? You want to be able to read it from the top when you have it on. You don't want it to be backwards. That's going to be the strong side of the belt. All right, and to get it on, it's the same process pretty much, but I do want you to spin it on. You gotta be able to get your sled to move. It's very sticky snow today, so it's not very easy. And the hardest part about this is I hope you're not in this situation where the snow is super sticky and it's not easy to get this sled moving because you have to move the whole sled to put this back on. Alright, I did get it on. It's very hard. Now we're just gonna take our key out. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to shift this back and forth around a little bit to get it reset in the position you want it, so the springs can go back in and tighten the belt up. Unless you're in a very big bind, snow sticky, you have nobody to help you, you want to pull it forward. Not very good to do, but if you're in a bind, you can do it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, those are my 3 tips that you should know before you go riding on the trails mechanically. And I think if you know those things, then you'll be a lot better off when you break down on the trails. Another quick tip, I know I only said 3 tips. If your sled overheats, says it's overheating, don't keep driving. At least pull over, stop, let it cool down. If it keeps overheating, you're gonna have to tow it. Alright, again guys, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. It's all free and it really supports me. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it helped you.